football fans, we are ready for NFL picks for week number 9 in the league where they play for pay. Great to be back with you guys. A special Monday edition of the picks. Usually I pick on Tuesday, but I'm ready to go, so let's pick them now. Week number 9 is here already. How fast is this season going? Now, as I look at this week's picks, my advice to you guys, pick light this week or don't pick at all. It's a tricky week, a lot of strange games, a lot of tough spreads. Nothing jumps off the page to me. Maybe bet light or take a week off. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to bet every week. You don't have to bet every game. You don't even have to bet the Super Bowl. I always tell you that. Maybe go slow this week. But anyway, let's go through the picks. Had another spectacular week last week. 9-3, and I got a game tonight, so I may even be better than 9-3. I am 101-32 so far after 8 weeks, rolling right along. Let's keep it up. Week number 9, 4 teams on a bye. The LA Rams are on a bye. They're down to 5-3, lost to Miami. What a dreadful, awful, pitiful performance by the Rams yesterday. Turnovers all over the place. Awful special teams. The Rams could not play any worse. They need a bye in the worst way. Cleveland, they're down to 5-3, lost to Vegas in an awful weather game. I always tell you guys this when you're betting the over and unders. Check the weather. Check the weather. Nothing affects the game more than wind, even more so than rain. And you saw it yesterday with Cleveland. I was looking at this game with the over and under, and I was initially looking over because both of these teams can score. I checked the weather. I saw it was awful conditions in Cleveland. The wind was coming off that lake. They weren't going to be able to move the ball from here to there. I bet the game under. Sure enough, what was the score? What was it, 13-6? Covered it easily, and away we go. Check the weather. Check the weather when you're betting your over and unders. And if you like a spread early in the week, jump on it. If you don't like it, wait. Wait for the line to move. But if you like the spread when the line comes out right away, bet it right away. Okay, so Cleveland, 5-3, on a bye, lost to Vegas. Philadelphia on a bye. They're up to 3-4-1. They beat Dallas. Philly in first place. They're playing a little better the last few weeks. And Cincinnati on a bye. They're up to 2-5-1, beat Tennessee. I keep telling you about Cincinnati. They're in every game. I bet them last week, and they won outright. Okay, so there we go. Those are the teams on the bye. Pick number 1, let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. With the Kansas City Chiefs on -12 against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers down to 3-5, lost to Atlanta on Thursday Night Football. That was a bad performance by the Panthers. They're starting to go in the other direction. Reminds me of last year with Carolina. They started off decently and then they fell off a cliff. Could be happening again to them. We'll see about McCaffrey. I thought he was going to be out for the year. They say he may be able to come back. They need him in the worst way. Kansas City, they're up to 7-1, beat the Jets, ho-hum. Again, like last week, this is for you 14 teaser lovers, you super teaser lovers, where you get a boatload of points, a boatload of teams. Take the Chiefs. They're not going to lose to Carolina at home. You got to go Kansas City here. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. This is the Monday Night Football game next week. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from where I am here with the New England Patriots on -7 against the New York Football Jets. Jets down to 0-8, lost to Kansas City. No shocker there, right? Jets are halfway to Lawrence. Halfway to Trevor Lawrence. Jets are 0-8. I think if the Jets get the number 1 pick, they're taking Lawrence and goodbye Donald. So to me, they're halfway to Lawrence. I mean, what a just miserable season by the Jets. Just miserable. New England, they're down to 2-5, lost to Buffalo, had a chance to win this game. Cam Newton fumbles at the end as they're driving. They would have at least tied the game. At least tied the game. New England had a chance to win this game. Big fumble by Cam Newton. It's all going wrong for New England this year. They're now down to 2-5. I'm going to move the line to 1 and take the Pats. As bad as it's been for the Pats, it's been worse for the Jets. And until the Jets win a game, I can't trust them. They can't even cover 19-point spreads, the Jets. New England, move it to 1. Two-team teaser on Monday Night Football. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go to the Big D in Dallas, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the Dallas Cowboys. There's no spread on this game yet because we don't know about Dalton. Steelers up to 7-0, the only undefeated team in the league. They beat Baltimore in a fabulous football game. If you like NFL football, you had to love the Steeler-Raven game yesterday. Hard hitting, comes right down to the end. Back and forth, always a classic with those two teams. Really good football. Both teams took some injuries too. Steelers 7-0, and Dallas, they're now down to 2-6, lost to Philadelphia. We'll see about Dalton. Don't know the spread. Whatever it is, you got to use Pittsburgh, in either 3-team teaser, a 4-team teaser, a super teaser. You can't take Dallas. And I know Pittsburgh, they played 2 tough games in a row, Tennessee, Baltimore. Maybe there's a letdown here. There's not enough of a letdown where they're going to lose the game. So you got to think no matter how you play this game, the Steelers are going to win it. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go out to Los Angeles where the LA Chargers are -1.5 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders, as I mentioned, went into Cleveland and beat the Browns. Raiders are up to 4-3, still alive for a playoff spot. LA Chargers down to 2-5, lost to Denver. Is there any team in the league that loses more ridiculous games than the Chargers? I mean, I blame this on Phillip Rivers for the last 15 years, and now it's carried over. And we like the young quarterback. He's going to be good. But again, the Chargers, the way they lose these games, blew this huge lead to Denver in the fourth quarter. You can't make it up. Denver scores with no time left after a pass interference call. What a dreadful loss by the Chargers. They just make up ways to lose games. I'm going to move the line to 7.5 and take the Raiders. I think this is a close game either way. The Raiders have had a tough schedule. They've been in a lot of games. They've won 4 of them. And the Chargers just continue to find ways to lose. I think it's going to be at least close. So I'll go Raiders 2-team teaser plus 7.5. By the way, since we're talking about Los Angeles, congratulations to the Dodgers winning their first World Series in 32 years. No idea what Tampa Bay was doing taking out the pitcher who was pitching a gem. But that's the new school rules with all the analytics. Worked out well. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go down to D.C., Washington, where the Washington football team is -3.5 against the New York football Giants. Giants, of course, play tonight. They're probably going to lose to Tampa Bay, so the Giants are going to have 1 win coming into this game. And who did they beat the 1 win? Washington. That was the game where Washington went for the 2-point conversion at the end and missed it. Washington, they're 2-5. They're off a bye. They did win their last game against Dallas. This is a messy, ugly, sloppy game. This is one of those games I always tell you should be played in the rain or the mud or the snow. Sloppy, ugly, messy down in D.C. I'm going to move it to 9.5, and I'm going to take the Giants. I think it should be just like the first game. What was the first game? 20-19 Giants. I think it'll be the same type of game here. I think it'll be close. I'll move it to 9.5 and take the Giants as pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go to Nashville, Tennessee, where the Tennessee Titans are -6 against the Chicago Bears. Tennessee down to 5-2, lost to Cincinnati. They've now lost 2 in a row. Bears, they're 5-3, lost to New Orleans. They've also lost a couple games in a row now, Chicago. What's his name, Wims doing for Chicago? What was he doing, punching the New Orleans guy right in front of the ref, getting ejected from the game? That's just terrible on his part. He should be suspended this week, too. That was just awful. I mean, I know the New Orleans guy was antagonizing him the whole game. You cannot go up to a player in the middle of a game that's close in front of the referee and start throwing haymakers at him. You just can't do that. I mean, he got tossed from that game. I think he should be suspended for this week. I'm sure he won't be. But that was an awful performance by him. And the Bear offense, oh my goodness, their offensive line is a mess. They can't get any running game going. It's amazing they're 5-3, and it's all because of their defense, really. Their defense can do some things and can cause some turnovers, but they put so much pressure on their defense to actually win the game for them. This is a very strange game. I'm going to move the line to 12 and take Chicago. I think it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be close. The defenses are going to dominate the game. It could go either way. I'm going to take Chicago with the 12. I think, again, it could be a messy game here in Nashville. One other thing on the Chicago game last week. What was Troy Aikman talking about last week? Third quarter, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Bears are down 3. They have a 4th and 2 at their own 18. At their own 18. It's a no-brainer, you punt there. Troy Aikman is lobbying for the Bears to go for it on 4th and 2 at their own 18-yard line. Down 3 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Come on, Troy. Come on. Come on, Troy. We know you were a great player. You're a Hall of Famer. You're a good broadcaster. You want Chicago to go for it with their inept offense, 4th and 2 on their own 18, down only 3 in the third quarter. Why? Why? I mean, even if you told me you wanted them to run a fake punt there, okay, because at least you have the element of surprise. Why would you want them to line up and go for it 4th and 2? Now, what Chicago did is they ran on the field and tried to draw New Orleans off sides, and it didn't work. But you can't go for it there 4th and 2 at your own 18 with their offense. Oh, come on, Troy. Get a clue. Get a clue, Mr. Aikman. You don't do that there. That's terrible broadcasting. Anyway, I'm going Chicago plus 12. 2-team teaser. That's pick number 6. Pick number 7, let's go up to Buffalo. Really good game here with the Seattle Seahawks on -3 against the Buffalo Bills. Bills up to 6 and 2, hung on and beat New England. I'll tell you, I'm expecting more from Buffalo. They're 6 and 2. They're in first place. They're going to make the playoffs. I want more from them. They have not looked great the last few weeks. The last month, actually. They got to play better if they want to get to the promised land. Seattle 6 and 1 beat San Francisco. Seattle is now a big-time offensive team. Not so much a great defensive team anymore. They used to be a really great defensive team. They give up points now, but they score a lot of points. And how about this young receiver, Metcalf? That's why I laugh at the draft. This guy went, the last pick in the second round? What happened to all the scouting and the combines? No one picked up on this guy? And that's where Pete Carroll is so great. He always finds these type of guys. Do you realize the amount of talent Seattle has lost the last few years, and they're still one of the better teams in the league? Year after year they lose players and they plug them in. Nobody does a better job than Pete Carroll at finding guys, and he found another one in this stud receiver in the last pick of the second round. I'm going to move the line to 9 and take Buffalo. This is a very tough game. Seattle's coming across the country. I'm waiting for Buffalo to play a big-time game. I'm waiting for it, Buffalo. I know you're 6 and 2. Come on, you got to play better. I'm going to move the line to 9 and take Buffalo. I think it's a very, very good game. I mean, it's not a game I recommend betting. It's almost a game you want to sit back and enjoy and watch. But if I have to play it, move it to 9, take Buffalo at home. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. This is the Sunday night football game where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are -4.5 against the New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay, of course, plays tonight in New Jersey against the Giants. New Orleans, they're up to 5 and 2, beat Chicago in overtime. Is Michael Thomas going to have a play, by the way? I feel like he's been out 2 months. When is he going to play? This is a rematch of Week 1 when the Saints bamboozled the Bucs down in the Superdome. Very tough game, important game, big division game. I'm going to move it to 10.5 and take the Saints. Bucs on a short week. Saints beat them the first time. I think this is a very, very close game. Hard to pick a winner here. I'm going to move it to 10.5 and take the Saints. Again, another game you might want to just sit back and watch rather than bet. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go to the desert in Arizona where the Arizona Cardinals are -5 against the Miami Dolphins. Arizona 5 and 2 off the bye. How about Miami? 4 and 3. Beat up the Rams. Tua didn't have to do a lot. What did he do? Throw for 90 yards? Dolphin defense just ate up the Rams. The special teams were awesome. You got to give the Dolphins a lot of credit. They're 4 and 3. They're right there for the playoff race. Again, and I've said this a million times, this was a team at the beginning of last year we thought was not going to win a game. They've been very, very competitive. Now, as far as this game, I'm going to move the line to basically pick them and take Arizona in a 2-team teaser. It's not going to be like last week for Miami where they win the game on defense and special teams alone. Tua is going to have to play well. And I don't know if Tua at this stage is capable of playing this well. Going on the road, beating a good Arizona team that's coming off a bye. Tua can't win this game just throwing 90 yards. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. So to me, I got to go Arizona here. I got to see that Tua can do this on the road. And that's not a knock on the Dolphins. They've been playing really well. And it's not a knock on Tua. He's only in his second start. I got to go Arizona here. That's the safer pick right now. Pick number 9. Pick number 10. Here's a nice game. Let's go to Indianapolis where the Baltimore Ravens are minus 3.5 against the Indianapolis Colts. Baltimore down to 5-2, lost a heartbreaker to Pittsburgh. Took a lot of injuries in this game. And by the way, Baltimore, they've lost a lot of these games, and I've mentioned this the last, a few weeks ago. They've lost some big games at home recently. Steelers, Chiefs, playoff games. Remember, this was a team that was 14-2 last week and didn't look like anyone could beat them. Not the same Baltimore team now. I mean, they're a little vulnerable this year, Baltimore. They're still good. I think they're still a solid playoff team. They're not out of the division by any means. But they're not as dominant as they won last year. Remember, they got bounced right away last year and the year before that. They still have a lot to prove, Baltimore. Jackson still has a lot to prove in a big spot. But I'm nitpicking, of course. And then the Colts. How about some respect for the Colts? They're 5-2, beat Detroit. Rivers, who I've got on in the past, was awesome yesterday. He was flat out dealing. That was the good Phillip Rivers. He was dealing all over the field. Had some really nice throws. Much respect for the Colts being 5-2. And I haven't talked about them a lot this year. And I don't love Rivers. I know they haven't had the hardest schedule. But 5-2 is a nice job. And remember, they lost their first game to Jacksonville. So they've won 5 out of 6 since. Nice job by the Colts. Out of respect for the Colts, I'm going to take them in a 2-team teaser, move it to 9.5, and take Indianapolis. Out of respect for them. Out of respect for what they're doing, they are 5-2. And I've picked on Rivers a lot, but I'm going to take them here. Now, would I say they're going to win this game? I don't know about that. If I had to pick a winner, I'd still probably lean Baltimore. But if I'm going to bet the game, which I would never bet this game, I would go 2-team teaser, 9.5, and take a shot with the Colts. That's pick number 10. And these last 4 picks, listen, I wouldn't go anywhere near these games. I would say these are all throwouts, but I'll go through them real quick with you. Houston minus 6.5 in Jacksonville. Both of these teams are 1-6. The Texans only win is against Jacksonville. I don't know if Minshew's even playing. If I had to pick the game, I'd move it to pick them and take the Texans if I had to. Green Bay minus 2.5 in San Francisco. That's the Thursday night game. You know how I feel about Thursday night football. I mean, I don't go anywhere near it. Niners are down to 4-4. Lost to Seattle. Took a billion injuries again. Quarterback, tight end. They're a complete mess. They're decimated with injuries. Green Bay 5-2. Lost to Minnesota. Really disappointing effort by Green Bay. They've now lost 2 out of 3. I did not like the way they played at all there against Minnesota. Give Minnesota credit. They showed up. That's a rivalry game. Minnesota came to play. Green Bay was flat as a pancake. Again, if I had to pick it, I would say Green Bay would respond against the decimated Niners, but I wouldn't go anywhere near it. But if I had to play it, I'd go Green Bay money line. Minnesota at home, -4 against Detroit. Detroit down to 3-4, got carved up by Indianapolis. Same old Detroit. They can't handle prosperity. Take 1 step forward, 4 steps back. That's the Detroit Lions. And in Minnesota, they're a total flake. They're up to 2-5. I just mentioned they beat Green Bay. You don't know what you're getting from them week to week. They haven't won a home game yet. They look good in Seattle a few weeks ago. They lose a heartbreak. Then they come home and get demolished by Atlanta. Then they go on the road and beat Green Bay. They have some talent, Minnesota, especially on offense. Defense isn't the same, but they really played hard against Green Bay. They deserve to win that game. If I had to play this game, I would go moneyline Minnesota. I just can't trust Detroit. I just can't trust them, especially on the road. Minnesota, I'm waiting for them to have a big home game. I mean, I thought they'd do that against Atlanta a few weeks. They fell flat on their face. What's going to happen here? To me, it's a throw-out. If I had to pick it, I'd take Minnesota. And then the last game, no opinion on this game. Atlanta at home, -4.5 against Denver. I mean, Denver's up to 3-4, beat the Chargers in an epic comeback. Tremendous comeback by the Broncos. And then you got Atlanta. They're up to 2-6, beat Carolina. Atlanta could easily be 5-3 if they didn't blow the games to Dallas, Detroit, and Chicago. All 3 games they should have won. All 3 games they should have won. So Atlanta, as much as we've been down on them, they could easily be 5-3. But as Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are. They're 2-6. You want to pick that game, Atlanta-Denver? I have no opinion on that game whatsoever. So to me, that's a total throwout. Those last 4 games, I'm probably not going to go near. And like I said, bet light this week. This is a strange week, a tough week, a lot of tough spreads. Nothing jumps off the page to me this week. Nothing jumps off the page to me where I say, oh, I got to bet that. Now, I'll look at the weather and the over and unders come Sunday. To me, I'm betting light this week. I'm going slow. I suggest you guys do the same. But anyway, thanks as always for the support. The best audience of all of YouTube right here. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Enjoy the games. Take care.